Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Gruber Wired Hour. I'm Mark Beach.
I am John Dotson, and welcome once again. What a beautiful Thursday it is here. Warming up in Phoenix.
It's in the 90s.
In the 90s already.
First 90-degree day.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to top out at 97 today.
Oh, boy.
So make sure you guys are staying hydrated out there.
Feels like home.
Yes.
Well, before we know it, it's going to be 115, and we'll be saying something else, right? So
We'll be wilted flowers at that point.
Yeah, so and that brings up a point about being safe in this type of weather that we have here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a little bit about safety and what we have to endure here at Gruber. One thing I want to point out is, look at that. We are 1,442 days, actually. I took this picture yesterday, accident-free.
That's a great thing.
It's a very great thing. And we owe a lot of this to the employees of Gruber and management, really management for stepping up and giving us a safe environment to work in.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah. We are manufacturers. So we have lots of a variety of different environments that we work in every day.
I know. I mean, I got nothing.
Well, you got to stop and think for a second. We have heavy machinery.
Yep.
Right? We got forklifts running around out in the yard.
Yep.
And it could be as simple as
lots of paper.
Lots of paper.
Paper cuts.
Well, 3 times since I've been here, I've actually seen people go and they go to sit down in their chair and the wheels slide out and they fall backwards. That could be an accident waiting to happen. I mean, you literally could take things for granted that you don't think about. So you got to stop and just take a moment and just realize and think safety all the time.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, and not considering the fact with our UPS systems, we have a lot of high voltage situations here too. And so kudos to all of Gruber for keeping us safe out there.
Amen.
So today,
what is today? What is the date today?
Today's the 11th.
So it would be
4/11.
411, right?
411. There you go.
And there's somebody here who is the info guy. We call him John the Word Dotson.
Ooh,
right?
Let me get that.
Yeah.
What do we got going on now? Oh boy.
John keeps everybody in the loop. Right?
Yeah. I'm scared.
Little delay here.
Cute.
John,
are you scared?
You scare me some days, I tell you.
No, well, I mean, you just you look out for everybody else, and you make sure, even if you have to go one by one to make sure that people have the info.
That is correct.
They get the info.
Okay, hold on. I got to find a way to.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
This is going to be nice here. Hold on.
Yeah, thanks. You're setting me up is what you're doing.
Well, you remember, wasn't it just last week you were talking about all the nicknames that people come up with? And
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I seem to have a new nickname like every other week around here.
Pickles sticks. I mean, he's always going to be Johnny Pickles.
Johnny Pickles right here.
That's it. But we're talking about him coming into the studio one week with like bib overalls and a straw hat and a little pickle emblem on his.
Yeah, I saw that on an episode of Hee Haw when I was growing up, sitting on my grandfather's lap.
Was that your influence growing up? Is that your?
That was one of the influence. That and let's see, what was there? Murder, She Wrote. My grandmother loved that show.
Well, that's a kind of a twisted pair right there. Speaking of cabling, twisted pair. Get it?
There you go. Gotcha.
Well, if it doesn't come up, it's
that's okay with me.
Sure, yeah. This thing is
all the hard work I did.
You just keep going for a second.
They're working on things.
We can keep riffing.
Well, talk about what's coming up on our show. We're going to be talking about how technology is changing the world and some of those new things and technologies that are coming out there that are influencing this change.
Yeah, there's some cool tech, and these are things that are out there now that are emerging. From the scientific community into the technical world.
Yeah, and it comes from all around. I mean, it's not just from one specific area, and encompasses a lot of different environments.
Right. Yep.
So,
and make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this podcast. We are almost at 100,000 subscribers. We plan on being there.
We're hoping tonight,
tomorrow.
But tomorrow.
You can make that happen.
But here is the good news. We're going to be there before our counterpart, Gruber Power.
Oh, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. What is wrong with you?
We're going to pull this off. We're going to beat them. We're going to get there before they do.
Never take a victory lap until you've cross the finish line.
We're going to cross that finish line.
Okay.
We're going to get there. Be
All
confident.
Oh,
Have some confidence.
He did it, folks, and I assume no responsibility for it. I'm just telling you right now.
Oh,
all
that's
right.
funny.
I think we've done it.
Do I
Okay,
even want to know?
yes.
Should I close
Yes.
my eyes?
John the Word Dotson. Yes,
Word.
that's you. So he is Mr. Grapevine. If you want to know something at Gruber, chances are he knows.
Yeah, we'll educate you. I'll keep you informed.
That's it. That's
tell
it.
you everything
There
you need to
go.
know.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm assuming that comes from Bob and Harry as well.
I don't snitch.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but John's been a good sport the last few days.
I've been taking a lot of it the last few days.
Well, I have nothing to say. At my desk, I might have a response, but on here, it's a family show. So
you know what? It just makes it. Honestly, you just said the word family. It makes it feel like family. We feel like we're siblings a lot of times. Sitting at our desks. So it's a blessing. I say that a lot, don't I?
You do.
I do. That's
You
the
do.
word. Blessing.
John is a grateful person. And your wife is back. You missed her.
Back.
She was out of town.
Yeah, she's out of town visiting some relatives up in upstate New York. Had a wonderful time. Of course, it's a bit of a time zone difference. So
Right.
But yeah, she had a great time.
I was
So
born
things
in
went well.
upstate New York.
Yeah, whereabouts?
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Yes.
Very nice.
So yeah, and just a preview of what's coming up in the coming weeks, we're going to be doing our 40th anniversary celebration for Gruber.
That's right. 40 years in business.
That's right. We're gonna have a day of festivities, although it won't be everybody at the same time all day. It'll be intermittent.
Sure.
But we'll be sharing snippets of that on that day and following. So yeah,
Yeah, you'll have to join us. It'll be great.
absolutely.
We'll
40
have a great
years is a
time.
big number.
Yeah. Wait till you get to 50.
Right. Well, I mean, if there's a good reason to do business with a company, it's to know that they're going to be around tomorrow and the next
Exactly.
day to back up the product that they sell.
Yeah, and Gruber being in business for 40 years, it just shows their dedication to this industry
Right.
and who we are.
Consistency, development. There's a lot of people who've been here a long time.
Oh yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about the Gruber here. We have people literally have been here 40 years since
Right.
the inception of it, and most of the majority of people have been here within 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Have been steadily handling business. So
It's,
it's good stuff.
it's amazing.
Amazing.
I haven't used that
Love
word in a while.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
All right. Shall we get going?
Yeah, let's get into the first little topic of the day. Jesse, you want to pull up the first picture that we have there?
Here you are.
Here we go.
All right. So
Yeah.
one of the big time emerging technologies is real-time monitoring to predict natural disasters. And I know y'all can read, so I didn't need to read that, but the idea is, and I think a lot of you in the Midwest know how much it's improved as far as tornado warning systems and things like that.
Correct.
And as well, there's been better models created for hurricanes, although there's always those, you see those spaghetti models, right? That are,
Sure.
I got to go over here. Spaghetti models.
Yeah,
Lose your hand.
working on that.
Yeah. Spaghetti models that still vary quite a bit, but it's weather. I mean, the biggest computers in the world are climate prediction technology.
Yeah, well, just the
weather-
satellite feeds
computers.
alone, being able to take a look from up above and seeing what's going on and taking all the measurements and collecting all the data, and especially taking that data and refining it to a local source.
Right.
I mean, that's really what we're talking about, is being able to get down to the community to, warn them that, hey, something is coming, something is going to happen. And that's going to be different. Probably the number one largest warning system we have is for weather, right?
Right.
And then you have also the detectors for earthquakes and, they have nanobots now and things like that are going down inside volcanoes collecting data to see the types of gases that are building up, to help predict an eruption.
Right. Yep. And it's not only important, for saving lives, but also for a disaster response afterwards.
Sure.
So if you know that there are things that are on the horizon, they can stage disaster response.
Yeah, and be prepared. But at the same time, too, since you're talking real-time monitoring during the disaster as it's happening, they're collecting that data as well, which then can be transferred down to first responders.
Yes.
So there's a lot of technological advancement here that's allowing this information to proceed to get faster, to get that response down there to help people out.
Absolutely. And we just want to remind everybody, if you're watching us live, feel free to jump in on the comments, ask questions, share your thoughts, and we'll be sure and respond to them on the air.
Yeah, feel free to do so. And the other what's taking place with this is the fact that it's becoming more of a global monitoring system.
Right.
So we're able to share with other countries, other areas of the globe, what is taking place and what is happening.
Right.
So yeah, good things going on with being able to predict those natural disasters, especially with, being able just to simply monitor the warming of the oceans has made a great deal in predicting what's going to take place. So
right. And if there was an overarching theme to what we're going to be presenting here today, it's life-changing technology science.
Yeah.
Life-changing stuff. So, things that affect us all that will what?
No, you're good.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, it's just me adjusting.
Okay. All right. Right. So yeah, the idea is it's life. It affects everybody and it has high impact.
Yeah, and the ability to be able to collect data after the disaster itself too is
Right.
something that they're taking a look at, and being able to come up with the new various models to predict what may happen in the future.
Yeah, I think of the movie Tornado and all the little things that floated up into the
Oh, that's Twister, right?
Twister. Yeah,
We
Twister.
got cows. Remember that?
There's a sequel coming out soon.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about
Twisters.
that.
Plural.
It almost looks like a recreation of the first. I mean, the storylines
It
look
has been
almost
like 25
identical.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't replace Bill
I
Paxton.
mean,
and Helen Hunt.
if Hollywood's out of good ideas, then I guess they got to go back to what worked before.
A little side
True.
note, they also announced Happy Gilmore 2.
Really?
I heard that.
Boy, yeah, that'd be fun. Do we get another Sharknado? That's what I'm
Is
interested
Bob
in.
Barker
There's
still?
already
Is
4
Bob Barker
Sharknadoes.
still alive?
No,
Is he not?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't believe so. Yeah, and Sharknadoes, we need another one of those. Right?
Do we though?
Do we really? Do we? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of them, so you can make 10 of them.
Sure.
I will not watch the next one, just like I didn't watch the other ones.
Gotcha. Hey, just so everybody knows, I officially watched iRobot, so thank you.
Yes.
Oh, you did.
He
Nice.
did.
I did.
What do you think? One of the greatest movies ever made, right?
No.
It's a true classic.
Good. It's good. It's not bad. It's good. It's entertaining. I enjoyed watching it, and I learned a little bit. So yeah,
it was relevant to what
it's relevant to what
You
we're
watched
taking
Man of
place.
the
I
Year, too.
Yes, I watched Man of the Year as well.
Yeah,
Robin Williams.
double
Yeah.
G, double D.
Yeah, trying to figure out this code.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, got
He's
that
up
out
to
of the way.
speed. He's up to speed now on movies that are relevant to our subject matter.
And this isn't relevant, but I did offer to Mark there, and you got to watch What Dreams May Come.
Yeah,
You'll have to find a way to watch it. That's a great show. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
I will.
So, subject number 2, if you want to pull up number 2, this here is interesting.
Yeah, this was really cool to me. The idea, the concept of essentially humid air passing over membranes, basically from like a top to bottom thing where they charge up and then pulling the electricity off of the membranes and creating that transfer. And right now it's very in
Very
the very
limited,
formative stages, but the description that really kind of cemented it for me was that it says, water molecules pass through the device from upper chamber to lower chamber. They knock against tiny holes, edges, creating an electric charge imbalance between the layered chambers, and it makes it run like a battery. The whole process resembles the way clouds make electricity. And so the one of the inventors says, what we've invented, you can imagine it's like a small scale man-made cloud.
Okay.
So like clouds make electricity for lightning.
Which is static, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same issue you find at home. If you get a lot of static electricity in the air and you have hair, you ever done that? And your hair sticks up?
Right.
That's what I'm picturing with this, is that type of electrical charge they're able to take and capture that.
Right. Right. Or they're actually creating it by creating the friction from the air molecules that are humid.
Yeah.
Right. It has to be humid air.
Yeah. Like, I imagine this has to get to a point where at a pretty large scale to, manufacture enough electricity to run anything substantial. But the technology's getting there. I mean,
and the Earth is pretty humid, and it's probably the cleanest energy you could ever develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. Here it says potential applications, just conversion technology such as powering small electronic devices, sensors, or low power environmental monitoring systems.
Right.
So you could take this and you could use this, for instance, we were just talking about the monitoring systems for, what were we just talking about? For natural disasters.
Right.
So they could take some of these monitoring systems out there, use this technology to continuously run them while they're monitoring.
Sure.
I mean, just another option versus solar.
Right. Yep.
So
and wind.
Yeah,
we got new camera angles here, everybody. So
we got some new ones.
You get to play around with them a little bit.
Yes.
So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. It'll be interesting though. I want to see how this progresses.
Yeah,
I'd like to follow up on this one.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat though. I thought it was something that kind of caught my eye. There's another one in here too a little later that we'll talk about. But yeah.
Yeah. So number 3.
Recycled tiles that regulate heat and humidity.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a no-brainer, right?
It really is, especially where we live.
Yeah.
I mean,
gone are the days of like metal slides and things like in playgrounds, right?
Sure.
The plastics that are used in there now are a little more heat tolerant. They don't absorb the heat as much.
Sure.
And same concept for roofing.
Yeah, this can actually be used in all sorts of different types of applications. So not just roofing, you could lay it on, say, decking.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of different options where this could be available to be used.
Does it still have steel on there underneath?
Underneath,
looks like
you have
it has,
the layment.
So it's like a steel roof with this.
I think that's just for an example.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, you'd have to have some sort of roofing material to hold that in place, right?
Right. Not only that, but it looks like they have it to channel heat out, maybe. And if there's any water or anything that gets underneath there, it still barriers it out. But the idea is that it doesn't absorb the heat to begin with.
Yeah, it reflects it back.
Right.
Right. So you're not trapping that heat down in there underneath there. You're trying to reflect it away from the surface.
Right.
And the same thing with the humidity, to take that out there. So it works for cooling roof applications. And like I was saying before, decking, this would be a great ideal, I would think, for a decking scenario that you could use using recycled tiles and so forth.
Yep.
So yeah.
Good.
Yeah, good stuff there. Number 4, I can't even say this word.
Phytoplankton.
Hold on, we got a question about this one.
TV fan, what is it recycled out of, and wonder how loud it is? Yeah, anything like that, I understand where you're asking whether it's loudness or not, because it probably radiates the noise on there. So I imagine if it's on your roof, you're going to hear the birds walking around. But
or if you get a hailstorm or something.
Yeah, because any of those polycarbonate plastics, things like that.
Well, in our little document here, it says recycled materials include glass, ceramic, and porcelain.
Ooh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So I could see where there's not going to be so much in density of sound waves. It's going to be noisy, I imagine.
Right. And yeah. So yeah, it's good innovation. Yep.
I wonder how cheap a recycled roof is too.
I imagine it's a lot less expensive than your traditional.
Right.
I just the one thing I didn't see on there was the life on this particular products. The lifespan of them.
Yeah.
Right.
It might be less expensive to apply, but if it only lasts 3 years, and, you're going to have to reapply your roof. How long?
Right. Well, I mean, I wouldn't think glass and porcelain and what was the other one? Ceramic is going to break down very quickly.
No.
If I remember right, it should make like a composite type material.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the composite like material, especially like in Arizona, is usually a little bit better holding up with for the UV rays and the heat. They fluctuate a little bit more, so they should hold up a little bit longer, and they shouldn't be too loud with, like, say, hailstorms or stuff hitting your roof.
You know, so you don't think the decibels would be any different from,
Yeah,
say, a
absorbent.
normal?
No, I don't. I mean, we have some tile homes out here, like they're out of that clayish material.
Yeah.
Terracotta.
So
Yeah,
I'm guessing
and those get loud.
I'm guessing that you'd have the underlayment was where you'd need a sound barrier.
Yeah,
You'd
and a
use
lot
an
of times
underlayment underneath that to absorb that sound.
Yeah, and
Right.
a lot of times you do the first strips to raise them off a little bit, so it's not like directly onto the wood of the roof.
Correct. So you wouldn't have an echoing scenario.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Good
All
stuff. Where are we on to number 4?
Phytoplankton.
Phytoplankton-based carbon capture. Well, we all know plankton's out in the ocean, right?
Yep.
And it is a very good consumer of CO2.
Yes.
And
as
so-
it grows. Yep.
Yep, as it grows. And so they're finding different ways to come up with this based phytoplankton materials that you could use just around the home even. As you see this pictured here on the side of a building.
Yeah. You know, this one was a little sketch to me. I mean,
Wait, so
what's
Okay.
that? I mean, the idea, laudable. In practice, I think you'd probably need a lot.
You might need a lot, but let's imagine a city this size. Let's say we go to using recycled roofing materials like we were just discussing. We use this as an underlayment.
Why not just
You
plant
know?
a bunch of trees?
That helps too. That all helps.
Yeah. I wasn't, you know, this one was kind of like, okay, this one is a stretch for me.
So I mean, this is just like having plants on your porch to suck up carbon, right? That isn't that what the idea is, basically?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
plankton,
except they get to charge a whole lot more for this, right?
and I
Yeah.
think plankton absorbs a lot more CO2 than a normal house plant. I'd have to look it up. I didn't look up those numbers.
Is it algae?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much like an algae moss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really what they're kind of looking at there.
So you want your house to look like the underside of a boat, essentially.
Well, basically, it will look like the Shire.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I see a lot of different.
Have houses built into little berms with round doors.
Yeah, right. Bilbo
Mr. Frodo.
Baggins comes
Mr.
along.
Frodo.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go.
But they're talking about using a lot of this stuff potential with the carbon capture as part of a broader climate migration scenario. Pardon
Right.
me, I can't speak today. So there will be some use for this, but where the practical use lies, I just don't know. This was one of those things that's out there that is shown to have some promise to it. But like you said, you're a little bit skeptical about it. So, but there could be some good uses for this. I could see that.
As long as it doesn't attract bugs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's growing within a synthetic material, I think, is the way that was set up.
Yeah.
So that's not actually the plankton. The stuff is
No, that's within the
inside it.
Correct.
Yeah. Which I have no idea how it works.
Wait a minute, the green stuff right there isn't the plankton?
Well, it is,
But it
So it's like a
houses it.
turf
it's
or
not the
something?
Yeah.
barrier. The barrier, like, I don't know how it passes through there, but it was something. It was said something about being made out of synthetic
I was
material.
gonna say, how does it live right there too? If it's from the ocean, how do you gotta like water it, take out the hose and spray it down every day or something, or what?
Right.
Yeah, good
Uh,
question.
I would think in a dry climate like ours, this would just die off
Oh,
really
yeah.
quick. Where somewhere in
Yeah.
the northwest, where it practically grows
But
naturally.
the funny thing is, our weeds here don't dry off. You know what I mean? They don't dry out. You still get weeds 3 foot high if you let them grow.
Right.
So, yeah. it'd be
In the
interesting.
desert, you know, so we have different, I mean, Palo Verde trees with those very thin stems that then have those teeny tiny leaves on them.
Yeah.
A few times when it rains, like, but then they go away, you know, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this will be an environmental situation. Where does it work practically, like you guys are talking about,
Mm-hmm.
for something like that? So number 5. So what we're talking about here is electricity-free medical injection and disaster recoveries. This is just one example of turning back time and using, primitive measures that we can use and that are out there. So we're taking those primitive measures that we used to have and used to work with, and finding new ways to revolutionize them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what's old is new again.
Yeah. That's exactly it here. So, like I said, this is one of those scenarios, and there's just many different devices out there.
What's going on here in this?
That's like Battlefield. That's a Battlefield
injection.
Right. Like
it's
transfusion,
I thought it was a human heart in a jar.
boom, 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 boom.
But yeah, basically it's using a pressurized hand pump to inject the material that you need into the person. think we lost Jesse over there.
Yeah.
Think we need one of these.
I mean, hopefully we're not in a disaster zone anytime soon.
Well, there's just a lot of technologies out there that when you come down to it, okay, here's a scenario. All of a sudden, right now, this moment, we are out of power. Cell phones don't work. Okay? I'm sorry, but I think there would be a lot of people upset if their cell phone stopped working, boom, just like that.
Never happened.
Never happened.
I have faith in Verizon Wireless.
But when that does happen.
What if somebody sets off an EMP?
Yeah. That could take place.
I think the chances of somebody setting off an EMP globally is none.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that.
I mean, an EMP to even take out a city the size of Phoenix would, to get the materials to make something like that, you would be on somebody's list somewhere way before you made it.
You don't need to take out the city. You just need to take out the power plant.
The power plant, the server room. I mean, a number of ways that it could go down. But to get back on track, once that happens, there's lots of things. There's crank radios, right?
Right.
So that you can have a radio signal, so you can at least get some form of communication. The idea is that people need to be educated and prepared for these disasters when they do happen, so that you have the technological devices at the time you need that will work in that situation.
Right.
So
that's the idea there.
Going to be start advocating to become preppers.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm not a prepper, but
I'm not either.
ready.
I think it's probably good to have like a go bag or something, but I don't know. I don't have the resources to build like a shelter at the moment.
No, let me tell you, the biggest mistake, if there's some kind of big disaster, the biggest mistake is to get on the road and try and get out of town.
Well, especially here in Phoenix, right?
Because,
you only have 3 ways out.
Yeah, you're going to be stuck on the road. Everybody's going to be running out of gas. Then you're going to be walking.
Yeah.
You hunker down.
You have to be prepared.
You got to be prepared to hunker down at home. Yep.
Yeah, you just have to be that way.
Yeah.
Build a big fence.
A big fence, a huge fence. Huge.
Well, we tried, and then they fired the guy that was doing it.
No, I mean around your home. Wrong fence.
I knew where you're going there. Oh man!
And
right,
ladies
6.
and gentlemen, yeah.
Why don't you start this one off?
Biodegradable polystyrene replacement.
Yep.
So how we all know how styrofoam is. I'm sure we heard it growing up. It takes 1,000 years to degrade, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And now they've come up with alternatives that are landfill friendly, that will biodegrade easily.
Yeah, and I remember growing up, when we were growing up as a child at McDonald's, our Big Macs would come in this styrofoam container.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And could you imagine a Big Mac in a container that looks like that? Wouldn't be too appetizing.
I think that could
happen.
Well, I think that picture was probably not the best picture for that, but yeah, no, it's but when I think of styrofoam now, I think of packing peanuts and stuff like that. But they make that out of vegetable cellulose now too, so those are already biodegradable.
Which is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, so, you can eat some of them, I think.
No, thank you. I'll let you try that.
No, that's
Let me know how they taste.
Put a little soy sauce on them.
What?
Ugh.
Tastes like chicken.
They're made out of rice. They're made out of they do make packing peanuts that are actually literally edible.
That sounds like the paper straws. I get those from restaurants sometimes, and they dissolve in my drink.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I never liked those. I didn't like the stainless steel straws. You tried
those just seem gross, right?
It just doesn't seem right. But then again, after years of using a plastic straw, it's going to be different, right?
Yeah.
So it'll take some time to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
But the paper straws, yeah, I'm not a big fan of those.
No.
Can't do it. But yeah, no, this is a material that's going to be able to be used in many different varieties of ways, especially like you just said, packing. When we package our material up here at Gruber to send to a customer, we can use a product like this to help the environment.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of applications for this in the future.
And again, the subject matter here is life-changing tech or science. So these are things that will dramatically improve, whether it's carbon emissions or in this case utilizing materials that don't biodegrade for consumables. Then
sure, because we use this every day. I mean, I think probably most of us on a daily basis will come across a material like this.
Yeah.
Just in your daily worldly travels. So that does make a big difference.
Yep.
So on to our next. What do we got
This
here?
one's you. This one's all you, man. I know you want to jump on this one.
Yeah, right. You got a picture for us there, Jesse?
Also, about AI, before you dive into this one, they're back on the last one. They're now using AI to start targeting the trash in the ocean. So they're actually using it to scan and do analysis of giant areas much faster, to where they're finding all this trash.
Have you
crazy
seen-
That's
amounts of
number
trash.
11 on our list here.
Have you actually seen the trash dump in the Pacific Ocean?
Well, yeah, isn't it like the size of?
See if you can find a picture of it, because it's amazing.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. It's giant. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. But my understanding is they went to start removing some of it, and they're removing some of it, but they actually found a very nice habitat for wildlife underneath living there,
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's created a habitat, natural habitat for, wildlife in the ocean out there. But in this little section here, what we're talking about is, believe it or not, AI does create and release carbon emissions. And so they're creating new graphics cards that can help slash those emissions of products. So here we go. Did you find that?
So the audience can't see this yet. I'm just doing research, and I'll put it onto the other screen here in a few.
And the research I've done on this, just to let you know, let's see here. This research comes from the University of Massachusetts, suggesting that training a single AMI model can emit over 284 tons of CO2, equivalent to the lifetime emissions of 5 average vehicles. So there is, CO2 will be released from this particular process of AI.
Yeah, and they're talking about the amount of electricity consumed by computers that are producing, or rendering the AI models. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, he was saying the other day that they're now launching their new line of chips that are going to help power the next AI revolution. They're going to be much more data heavy than the ones we're currently using.
Yeah.
And then Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, ChatGPT, he said that the future of technology depends on compute. So he's expecting all of our current data centers to 10x in the next few years alone.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to go through and a lot of change.
And that kind of threads back to an episode we did a few weeks ago talking about miniaturization or data, lowering the footprint of data cabling, let's say, for example, and increasing capacity of servers and whatnot, because that, the goal is obviously to be able to put more data through smaller spaces, right?
Sure.
So, yeah.
So, and downsizing all that, which will help with the CO2, but we got to include this within that discussion. You know, we always talk about vehicles. We talk about, you know, the methane coming from livestock, cattle, and so forth. But you never hear anyone talking about it on the AI side of things.
Right. And you know, we're running into this, you know, with increasing frequency too, MPO and MTP cabling.
Yeah.
That, you know, in a single connector now, you've got 12 or 24 fibers as opposed to one.
Correct.
Right. So, and those are, you know, pretty small footprint cables, you know, 12, I think a 12 fiber MTP cable is something like 5 to 7 millimeters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tiny, and you're getting 12 times the data going through there.
But not only that, but you have it all underneath one jacket instead of 12 separate jackets.
Right.
Right. So you're actually, you know, saving on the consumption of using those materials.
Right. And they're doing those with OM3 and OM4.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, those are able to do multi-channel within a single fiber strand too,
Sure.
as well. Right.
Did we talk about the internet on this last week, where the guy figured out how to increase the internet like 5 million times the speed? Did you hear about that?
Did not.
I don't think that
It
was
must
us.
have been the AI show. But this guy is in fiber. He was testing it, and it's like 300 million megabits per second.
Wow.
That's unfathomable.
They found it. They're using a new part of the spectrum for fiber for light, essentially, that hasn't been used before, that nobody figured out how to use. And this professor has figured it out, and they've tested it, and it's now going through peer review. But yeah, we're talking about all of our existing infrastructure literally millions of times faster.
Just in the blink of an eye.
Talk about drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that article. But here's the trash.
Yeah, this is sitting out in the Pacific Ocean. I mean, totally disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, but...
And that's actually number 11 on here. Detecting monoplastics with high-tech imagery.
Yeah, we can talk about that really quick.
Microplastics, I mean. Yep.
But yeah, and what people don't realize, a lot of that and that trash that's out there comes from container ships and so forth. A lot of containers go overboard when they come across the ocean.
Yeah.
On those routes. They do. They lose a lot of product in transit. But if you've seen them, they have them stacked so tall.
Right.
I mean, it's up there, so it doesn't take much to knock one of them off. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, so now they're using technology in high-tech imagery to be able to take a look and actually see the particles that are and subparticles that are within the water itself.
Right. Find them and to be able to reclimate those areas in the ocean. Right.
Yeah. And so what we're finding is there's a lot of debris out there. I mean, yes, we pollute. What can we say? It happens. You know, it's not that we intentionally do it sometimes, and sometimes we intentionally do it. I see it every day. Somebody throwing a cup out the window of the cars or driving down the freeway. You know,
I don't know who your we is, Willis, but
yeah, I see.
No,
it.
I mean, you know, we just
a
have
lot.
some countries we have problems.
Yeah.
You know, the U.S. as a percentage of the whole, you know, we're pretty conscious about that kind of stuff.
We are. We're getting a lot better. You know, it's not everyone, and the way that we do things, the way we're able to recycle, you know, and take care of our trash, we do a pretty good job at it.
Right. Exactly.
So, but yeah, you know, when it comes to oceans and oceanic life, this is a hazard for them as well. So we like to take a look at that, see what we can do to help out the little fishies.
It makes sense. I mean,
yeah, it just makes sense. Plus,
we have to clean up the world's mess.
And the one thing is that what is the ocean? Water. And what is it we need more of now, more than anything else? Probably water, right?
Yeah.
So why not clean it up?
Okay, so I think I found an infographic here. Let me see if this is going to work.
While we're waiting for that, like, subscribe, and share this podcast.
Word.
We want to get to 100,000 in the next couple days. Otherwise, if John didn't jinx us, then we'll be good. If you know,
I didn't jinx you. It's gonna happen.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yeah,
Yep.
see, there it is. I'm kind of in the way. Does it say much about what's it say? There's 15 million kilometers.
1.6 million kilometers, or 994,000. What? 994.193 million miles.
How many trillions? That 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic?
Yep.
Wow.
80,000 tons of garbage.
And 99% of that, it says everything is plastic.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. There's plenty of documentaries out there that go over it. I don't know how to really put it other than the simple term is that plastic, there's so many different types and ways that plastic is made that it's essentially impossible to recycle it. So every time you think you're recycling plastic, it's just going into a landfill.
Yeah.
When it gets to the recycling plants, there is no way for them to individually determine what the plastics are in each thing, so they just have to throw it away.
Right.
So how much more added cost is that? I mean, we think we're doing our part and helping out, you know?
Yeah.
So
basically glass. Glass is about it, and aluminum.
There are a couple companies that make like clothing and like shoes, stuff like that out of those recycled plastics. There's one in particular that does it from the ocean plastics. I know.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll have to
they spin it into threads like fiber, and then make make it into material, sheets of material.
I wonder how that is. That breathable? I mean, I imagine a plastic shirt out here in 115 degrees. Oh.
Plastic
I'm sure
pants,
it's treated. I'm sure it's treated. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, that would not be a lot of fun.
No.
It looks like the company's called Oceanus.
Okay, you looked it up.
Oceanus
is a purpose-driven apparel brand created to save the ocean. From eco-friendly apparel made from recycled plastic bottles to removing plastic waste from the ocean and coastlines.
There you go.
Well, that's why I drink the liquid death water too, is because they are huge. One of their whole big initiatives is death to plastic.
Okay.
And they do everything that they do. They sell in a recyclable can first of all, and then they also contribute proceeds to fight all that stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it's and not only are there issues with plastics, post consumer, but it consumes a huge amount of petroleum product to create them as well. So, those are that's
I think that there's a big movement right now, and there's a couple of states that have overturned their marijuana laws because they were just a little too loose, I guess, but they're trying to revise them and put them back on the ballot. But the big thing is hemp. Apparently you can do a lot with hemp.
Yeah.
In terms of paper, clothing, a lot of stuff that we use petroleum for just because it's so easy and cheap to do. You can do it with hemp. It's just hemp's been outlawed for so long that we've never been able to really use it.
Right.
Wasn't the Constitution written on hemp paper?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't
think it was back then.
I mean, all of them were hemp farmers.
Yeah,
all the founding fathers.
Right? Yeah. So it would make sense that it was at the time. I don't know. Look that up and find out.
I can fact check that.
Yeah. I could be wrong. But back to this whole AI, developing these chips that are going to help out with the CO2, because generating 1,000 images with a powerful AI model such as Stable Diffusion XL is actually responsible for roughly as much carbon dioxide as driving the equivalent of 4.1 miles in a vehicle. So
just generating how many images?
1,000 images.
Yeah.
And if you stop and think about it, gosh, that can go so quick. You got millions of people.
Yeah.
Generating these images, using these particular projects, using AI.
And again, it's all has to do with electricity used to power the computers powerful enough to create them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same concept as the electricity it's used to power an electric vehicle.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what's next on our list here? Oh, number 8.
Programmable soft robotics. So this was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So there were like 4 settings, I think, on these, right? One was basically vacuum. The other was pump. And then there was a flow sensor and speed, right?
Right, yeah.
And essentially they could be incorporated into robotics on kind of an ad hoc basis. and used, to bring up technology a lot more quickly because they don't have to build specialized devices to go into these, robotics. They can say, okay, this is programmable and this is the function of this particular
It's
item.
got like one function. It's
Right.
very small, very compatible, flexible, so it can be used for the specialized needs.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll bring that up here in just a sec, just so the quick fact check on that.
Yeah.
It says that in the time, so we have to make our own conclusion because there's people saying that it was a hoax and people saying that it's possible, but essentially hemp is listed as in England being a completely indispensable product. It's saying that many American colonists, their Bibles and maps were printed on hemp paper. Hemp paper is possible and most likely was used for drafts of the Constitution and even the Bill of Rights, but everybody's saying, in terms of federal government, is saying that's a hoax. It was all done on parchment, which is treated animal skin, apparently.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, which makes sense to me.
There you go.
but
Hey, we weren't there. Were you there?
Yeah, well, nobody was there, but it just happens that hemp was one of the most widely used products in the time, so it could have been drafted on it. You don't know.
Well, we
Right.
could ask our coworker Bob. I think he was there at the time.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, here's the.
Oh boy, he did it now.
I did it. There you go.
Yep.
So you can see there's a programmable soft robotic. You can see it's got a micro USB port to charge it. And so, yeah, you see these things, and I'm not sure exactly what this one is used for. Does it say?
Well, they're programmable, so
Yeah.
it could be used for anything.
Yeah. But eventually,
not literally anything, but see, it says on there inflation, vacuum. Release, hold, pre-source sense, and flow
Pressure sense,
variability.
yep.
Pressure sense and
vacuum hold.
variability. Right.
Yeah, I could see where this would be useful, especially in an automotive situation when you're working on your vehicle and you drop that bolt down there and you can't get your hand in the engine to grab it. You could use one of these guys and send them down there and just grab it for you.
No.
Why
That's
not?
not what this is for.
But you don't have to do that if you don't have an engine.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah, you had to bring that up.
He
didn't you?
was Trey, it's fair because you did your little thing and then he didn't respond. This is his way of kind of being passive aggressive, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, these little guys, I imagine we're going to start seeing more of this out there probably within the next, 4 to 5 years for different types of applications.
Right. I mean, it can serve multifunction. So it's kind of like one of those little. It's kind of like one of those little. Have you ever seen those socket tools where it has the little pins, right? And so it fits right over the right size. You push it on there, and then it's got the
Yeah.
Those are the ones the ShamWow guy used to sell.
Exactly right. Yeah, as seen on TV.
ShamWow.
So this is like a multi-tool, but for robotics. But in this case, pneumatics.
But wait, there's more.
Right.
Maze.
Right. And robot controls are a lot are pneumatic. A lot of pneumatic based.
Using different various air pressures in order to.
Right.
Have you seen those pneumatic gyms? They actually have gyms with pneumatic equipment where you go in and you just reset the air pressure to the amount of weight you want to work out, and off you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
What we got next? Number 9, mixed reality building inspection with drones.
Boring.
Boring, but cool.
Yeah.
We all need building inspections done, especially if you're purchasing a home or, selling a home. You got to know what damages are in there, what's taking place. So you have these little tiny drones that you can use and set up on a camera that can go into the spaces you really can't get to and take a look and see what's going on, examine it. They can even take a look and examine and inspect, say, a 2x4 beam.
Right.
And tell you what the density of the beam and what's going on inside that beam, if there's dry rot, and give you all that data right back to you.
There you go.
So not much to say about it, except it does help with this particular problem. And I imagine they're also going to use these drones in settings of disasters as well, right? Good, yeah. So this would tie in with the natural disasters, or even say fire department might use something like this in a house fire to get in there where humans couldn't at the time because of smoke damage or smoke inhalation and take a look at what's going on.
Right. I know they're using them in wildfires now too, I think, to be able to give a good assessment of what's where.
Yeah, what's really cool about this with drones nowadays, we're starting to see drones being able to use in day-to-day operations, even in your own home. So we're getting a lot better with the technology that's based.
Flying many drones in your home, are you?
You seen those little toys you can play with?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just wondering.
The inspector that we used when I was flipping houses, he would use a drone and give us an aerial view so we can take a look at, where we want to place the AC units. Like if we redid the roof, maybe we wanted to put them on the side of the house instead of on the roof.
Okay, sure.
And then we can get a good landscaping plan going on. And in certain areas, we flipped a couple houses off of Glendale and 7th, I think it's 7th Street. And they have alleys over there, so you can see, where the alley line is and how to get construction vehicles back there and stuff. So it was very useful to have those drone shots.
Yeah, because that would map out the best way of attack and to be able to take care of the project you're working on. Yeah,
my dad uses it for his roofing company up in
Does he?
northern Arizona. Yeah, so he doesn't have to go up on the roofs to do an assessment. He just flies his drone.
Yeah. Nice.
It's a whole lot safer, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially up there when you're talking about like snow and hail damage and all that stuff, and he just sits in his truck and flies the drone up there and sends his analysis off to the insurance company, and then homeowner doesn't have to do anything. They don't have to worry about getting an inspector. They don't have to worry about calling the insurance. So I completely revolutionized my dad's business up there. How he does it, it's almost all automated.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose we'll see a lot more of that taking place too. I still see the people out there that are getting on the ladder and jumping up on the roof, but
that's crazy. There's people down here. I don't know how they do it here when it's about to be 120 degrees down here, and they're up there doing roofs all day long. That's just crazy.
They're a different breed. I mean,
yeah, I don't.
That's,
they start at like 4 a.m. They're out on the job site, getting going.
But when I had my pest control company, I was up in attic spaces when it's 118 out, right?
See, and that with the insulation and
and so I'm up there in an actual bee suit, so I'm in all canvas, and I have a little thermometer in my pocket because you're up there for so long, man. You can't imagine how fast you heat up. Right. And I tell you, several times you have to come out of an attic while working on a job just to cool down, get some water, moisture, get back up in there.
Well, it's like firefighters, and
they go.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. But like when Richard and Ryan were playing football, we would have summer passing leagues, and they would play football during the summer. But the routine was no pads, though.
No pads.
But we're out there in the morning, and they're out there, doing passing league. The idea is, you hydrate, you pre-hydrate for an hour, 2 hours, because if your body cannot play catch up, it's not capable of doing that. So you either prepare. That's why so many summer visitors out here, they go up to Camelback Mountain and they get rescued off the mountain. Yeah. Right.
Well, there's healthy, fit people here that don't make it.
Right. Yeah. They don't respect. Yeah. They don't respect
the heat.
Yeah. Right.
And you got to hydrate days. I mean, it takes a couple days before really starting to get a good hydration in before you can go out that heat and try to climb.
You can't have a bottle of water that morning. Yeah.
No, it's not going to cut it.
Not going to do you any good on the way up.
Your cells are not going to like you.
Right.
I had something else I was going to throw up there. We have a Rant that's just outrageously gone crazy, right?
Yeah.
A Rant?
Yeah, one of our Rants.
One of Pete's thing. It's the cabling industry one. It's like 52,000 views.
Yeah, can we show that? I mean, it's taken off like crazy. Why, I don't know, but it's pretty good stuff.
We don't have to run it, but we can.
I'll pull up the
screenshot
of it or something.
Yeah, if you haven't seen or checked out our rants and our shorts, please do. You're going to find lots of good information there, some fun stuff going on there. And
which one? Data cabling?
I think that's it. How many views does it have? It's got quite a few.
Cabling industry.
Cabling industry, 52,000?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, that's a little insane. That's like almost double.
How long is that video?
The rants are usually less than 3 minutes. This one's 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
Want to show it?
I don't care.
Yeah, why don't we show it? We'll show you what we're talking about with the rant.
I was just saying, just didn't know if that would. if it was possible. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind
with
of
audio in it,
play it through my mic here, but hold on.
Oh, is that how that works? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Way to throw a wrench in the works there, Dotson.
Word.
Johnny the Word Dotson.
I kind of like Johnny Pickles a little bit better. I'll accept Johnny Pickles.
All right, let's flip the script
Here
and
we go.
celebrate the data communication industry for all the amazing things it brings to our lives. First of all, let's talk about connectivity. Thanks to the data communications industry, we are more connected than ever before. Whether it's chatting with friends on the other side of the planet, collaborating with colleagues in real time, or accessing a wealth of knowledge at our fingertips, data communications has broken down barriers and brought people together in ways we never thought possible. And let's not forget about the sheer speed and efficiency of modern data networks. We can transfer massive amounts of data in the blink of an eye, whether it's streaming high-definition videos, downloading large files, or conducting business transactions online. It's like living in the future, where information travels at the speed of light, and it's absolutely exhilarating. Moreover, the data communications industry is a hotbed of innovation and creativity, from cutting-edge technologies like 5G and fiber optics to groundbreaking applications in artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. There's always something new and exciting on the horizon. It's a playground for dreamers, inventors, where ideas become reality and possibilities are limited only by our imagination. But perhaps the most amazing thing about the data communications industry is its potential to change the world for the better. Whether it's improving healthcare with telemedicine, revolutionizing education with online learning platforms, empowering marginalized communities with access to information, data communications has the power to uplift and transform lives on a global scale. In conclusion, the data communications industry is a force for good in the world. It connects us, empowers us, drives us forward into a brighter, more connected future. So here's to the data communication industry. May it continue to innovate, inspire, and bring us closer together for years to come.
Yeah, 52,000 views.
Wow.
So Pete is right about remote. You know, there's TikToks where you see people and they're in mud huts.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
Dirt floors, shanties out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But there's TikTok.
There it is.
They've uploaded it somehow, right?
It's touching the world all over.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't matter, no matter what your economic status is, almost all the world has access to this technology.
Yep, I agree. And we use generative AI to do images. I know Pete does that with a lot of the stuff that graphics that we use.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting to be able to. I know one of our guys, Harry, is able with his words to get
Yes.
very specific pictures. Nothing bad, just funny, but get 100% of what he's looking for by the words that he chooses. I tend to not paint the pictures so finely. I kind of use broader terms.
Yeah.
When I make stuff, but it's pretty amazing how you can get really some granular detail on an image that you're trying to create just by laying that out. Sure.
Could you imagine if Picasso was alive today and the technology that someone like that would have, an artist like that would have to work with? It'd be amazing, right? Gotcha.
I sometimes Dotson, sometimes Johnny the Word Dotson.
Word.
Yep.
So anyway,
okay, well, Pete said, great background, guys. I'm waiting to participate. The cabling business rant has some interesting. Yeah, there we go. Ta-da. The cabling business rant has some interesting history. So I guess on another podcast, we'll hear more
we'll
about the history of that. Yes.
Yeah. But finalizing everything today, thank you for watching once again. Gruber, all of our employees, management staff, thank you for keeping us safe. That is a big achievement, and we look forward to continuing that achievement.
Yeah, we look forward to celebrating 40 years in next month in May. And we are excited about the opportunity to share some of that with you. I think we put on the shorts a little quick snippet of a pancake breakfast we just did celebrating our last quarter.
Oh, yeah.
And, so we try and give you not just, the industry type stuff, but we'll share a little bit of the personal stuff as well. And we're happy to do that.
Yeah, happy to share our family time with you.
Yes. All right. Well, for Gruber Wired Hour, I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson, and thank you once again.
Yes, join us. Make sure and join us next Thursday at 3.
At 3 o'clock.
Arizona time.
Between now and then, please like, subscribe, and share. And thank you.
All right. Good night. God bless.